Harold, welcome to Schoolhouse Agile. Today we're tackling openness, creating a culture where everyone's voice is heard. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, it means Janet's about to turn 5 minute discussion into a TED talk on why we need to use Comic Sans in the footer.
Janet, always the philosopher of questionable design choices. But Harold, openness is not just about letting Janet speak. It's about creating a space where even Steve, our resident Jenkins wizard, can admit, hey, I broke the build. Let's fix it together.
Ha! Steve, admit fault. Last time the build broke, he blamed Mercury retrograde and then disappeared into an urgent debugging for 2 days. He came back with a new dashboard no one asked for.
Exactly. That's why openness is so important. It's like the Fast and the Furious movies. If one person drives off script, the whole team ends up crashing into a submarine. Scrum thrives on transparency.
Real, but let's be real. Half the time in stand-ups, people are just saying what they think everyone wants to hear. Oh, I'm on track. Meanwhile, the Jensen pipeline is on fire, and the sprint goal is MIA like Waldo in a blizzard.
See, that's the problem, Harold. Lack of openness is like a bad reality show. Everyone's pretending, but nobody's actually surviving. Scrum teams need honesty, not Hollywood. If someone's struggling, they need to speak up before the sprint becomes an episode of Survivor, Jira Island.
Okay, what happens when Janet does speak up? Last retro, she suggested we replace user stories with vision boards and try to assign me the manifestation lead.
Oh, Janet. Always pushing the boundaries of reality. But openness doesn't mean we say everything yes to every idea. It means everyone's voice gets a fair shot. And then we collectively agree that vision boards belong in yoga retreats, not Scrum.
Fair. But in the real world, most people are too scared to admit they don't know what's going on. Leadership comes in with your Q4 synergy goals, and we're all nodding like we just didn't Google what is synergy just 5 minutes ago.
We need to deliver value by optimizing cross-functional paradigms to leverage scalable outcomes. Translation, we don't know what we want, but we want it yesterday.
Exactly. And if we ask for clarification, suddenly you're the guy who doesn't understand the big picture.
Well, that's what we call classic corporate gaslighting. But in Scrum, we break that cycle. Openness means it's okay to ask dumb questions like, why is Janet's footer update priority one? Or does anyone actually know what a paradigm shift is? Transparency leads to clarity, and clarity keeps the sprint from turning into an interpretive dance of confusion.
Okay. But how do we get people to be open without turning it into a therapy session? Last retro, Steve spent 15 minutes talking about his cats, and somehow it became a metaphor for why we need a better ticket description.
Steve and his cats, did he happen to mention their names? Let me guess. Jenkins and Merge Conflict.
Close, Git and Brad.
All right, well, openness isn't about oversharing. It's about relevant sharing. We need structured transparency. That's why retrospectives and stand-ups are time-boxed. Got an idea? Great. Keep it concise. Got a story about your cats? Save it for the lunch break Zoom.
All right, but what happens when leadership isn't open? Last month, we asked for feedback, and all we got was a PowerPoint deck with a pie chart that said, do better.
The dreaded feedback loop of doom. Leadership opacity kills transparency faster than Janet's font choices kill users' trust. As a team, we push back by demonstrating openness ourselves. When we're transparent, they have to reciprocate, or risk looking like the one guy in Monopoly who's secretly stealing from the bank.
Fine, Marcus, I'll be open. But if Steve breaks the build again and blames it on the cat walking across the keyboard, I'm closing all communication channels.
Fair deal, Harold. But let's aim for a culture where Steve feels safe saying, yeah, I broke it, without fearing he'll be voted off the island. Transparency builds trust, and trust builds high-performing teams.
All right, Market, I'll give it a shot. But if Janet starts manifestation sprint goals again, I'm calling you.
Deal. Now go forth, Harold, and foster transparency. Remember, an open team is a winning team, unless Jenkins the cat is involved.